Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're back for the Stampede. You heard my voice. Yes, Vash made his return for the Weebs of the Ring of this week. And let's start the show by saying what it is for tonight. Rundown leg, JJ Styles said it. God damn, this main event was so bad that I took a nap to refresh myself and made some coffee. And we're back for the show. So if you heard that, yes, the main event sucked ass because that 2 hours and a half minute show was spectacular because that Cody, not Cody Rhodes, the New Day had issues. They had a conflict. Our boy Kofi did not communicate. This is what it, guys, is. Communication is key in any relationship. And that's what Xavier Woods wanted at least. But he was not the only person that wanted to speak out because our boy Sami Zayn was out to the crowd, said what needed to be said, and Kaiser was not happy with this. He said, nah, my guy, you're not the guy. Are we going to get a triple threat in the future? Are we about to see the loyalty breaking? Or is this going to be the truest friendship of them all? But then the other person that spoke out and said, yo, we're going to shed some blood in the next couple weeks. At Bad Blood, you know who I'm talking about? Taylor Swift. No, sorry, not Taylor. So CM Punk is going to go for Drew McIntyre, and he's ready for Bad Blood. Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. We had Natalya versus Zoey Stark. We fell asleep on that. Braun Breaker and Jey Uso was longer than his NFL career. Psych, shorter than his NFL career. But then we had two great segments to end the night, which would be Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. Monsters versus monster. Yes, miss, you are not a monster. You are puny, puny man. And to end the night, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. This was a spectacular match. This should have ended the show. This should have canceled the main event. But you know what did it get canceled? Weebs of the Ring episode 66. Because we're here to talk about the damn fucking show. So without further ado, let's get to it.
All right, we are getting to it. Welcome, everybody, to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. We got episode 66 coming your way tonight. It has been it was a Raw. I'll say that much. You know, some good, some bad, some mediocre at best, but we'll get into that here in just a second. I see we got the chat already popping off. JJ, don't worry. You might be getting a walk-ins rant tonight. Just depends on when I decide to do it, because there's some things I have to say about tonight. But I, of course, am not alone, being your world champion walk-ins. Of course, I am joined by two other lovely people. But before we get into those introductions, just who exactly are we as a group, as a collective? Well, with anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a trio of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling events of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all nerds out there. So be sure to grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. We are, of course, brought to you by AniMa Studio, and this is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Like I said, I am your world champion, Watkins, joining us back yet again on my right shoulder. It is none other than the legend himself, Vash. How you doing, buddy? It's been a hot minute since you've graced us with your presence.
Guys, welcome. It's been a great time. It's your visionary, legendary Vash, who sees that dog in you. And will dog walk your ass. Fucking love that line. And for anybody that's mad that he said the line from our werewolf, Jacob Fatu, understand that he was talking to the dog man himself, Braun Breaker. So it worked very well that our boy Jay said it. And it's good to be back, guys. If you want to know what the Vash, the Humanoid Typhoon has been up to, check for this week live show of the animated podcast this Thursday. What episode number? I do not know. Other than that, check that out on Thursday. That's so bad on me, but hey, we're here. Live show. Like the video. Subscribe to your YouTube channel if you enjoy the content that we're here to bring you to the newest episode of Raw coverage. Because, hey, that main event coverage is going to be super quick. So, hey, we're just having fun with the show. We're going to have a good time.
Exactly.
And it's going to be a blast. Tell us why the main event sucked to you, and tell us what was your favorite highlight of the night as well.
Exactly. And yes, agreed, Oblivion. Mid is being very, very, very generous. But as always, to my left shoulder, we have the genius of the mat himself. We have Drop This Box. Drop, how you doing tonight? What knowledge are you going to be laying for us tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, and we're definitely going to be having some conversations about specific segments that took place tonight, because for the most part, the show did what it needed to do to build up to the pay-per-view, but at the same time, there is some things that shouldn't be there. We'll get into that, though.
Yeah. And hopefully with, them going to 2 hours for a little bit here in a couple weeks, maybe some things will be changed and fixed.
Hopefully.
I don't know. We'll see. And hopefully, with the change to Netflix, the move to Netflix, I mean, because apparently some news sites were reporting that they're gonna be like playing with the timing a little bit with Raw. So we'll just have to wait and see with that. But as we do with every Monday, we just get right into the action. There's no grappling because the week really hasn't happened yet. So let's just get right into the nitty gritty of it all. Our headline story was basically our story throughout the night. Judgment Day and all their shenanigans that they had. They had a couple matches tonight, a couple backstage segments. So we're going to start with everything that was going to build up to this World Tag Team title match between the Judgment Day finally defending against the New Day. And
Watkins,
okay.
What do you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you want to know? How many days they have not defended the title?
Oh, no, Vash, please tell me. Because, I wrote down a number of days, but I think commentary said a different number.
They said, from what I saw, I could be wrong, because
okay.
I saw two different numbers. Online, I saw...
Actually, I'll check
70.
the website, because I usually have it there, too.
All right, so I did not check the
good.
website. I saw online. I saw 70, and then I saw 82. So I was a bit confused from that. Either way,
yeah, me too.
What the fuck? How you champions that haven't defended it even on I don't even know if they defended it on a house show or something.
84 days.
84. Okay.
84. That's almost 3 months. That's a week shy of 3 months that they haven't defended those tag titles at. That is bonkers.
Props, just like what Vash had a return today during his little routine.
Yeah.
They're just props.
Yeah, literally, Vash had to bring the World Tag Team titles back to Target today. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing with the tag titles? What are we doing with our tag divisions? It's crazy. It's insane. What are we even doing with them? There's nothing. Even the match tonight was almost nothing. It was all New Day the whole match until the end when here comes the freaking jobber squad of LWO coming to interrupt, and it's like and then the ref it bothered me, even though the ref thing made sense with the story. That made sense. That was fine. That was cool. But it's it also infuriated me because it's just I was on I have been on Xavier Woods' side this whole freaking time. Why?
We got 5 viewers now.
Why? Good.
I love
Make it 5.
Yeah.
5.
No, I mean that
55.
they came for the drama. That's why we got 5 viewers now.
Love
which
it.
is good.
Come here to hear the bullshit. Because look, chat. You also have to join our Discord to see this. Because I wish y'all were here to understand.
Yeah.
the type of fuckery that Watkins was watching when the ref actually came out the ring to grab Kofi. Watkins was like,
"What are you doing?
"Since when do
First
you
of all,
get
what are
outside?"
you doing, Kofi? Why are you doing that? You have a match to pay attention to." And he even said later on, "Oh yeah, I had the LWO come out and be our backup." It's like, great. If they
Why
are
didn't you tell
backup,
me?
why are you attacking them? Like, what are you doing, dude?
That-
Why?
But
Oh,
also,
I know,
Xavier-
Sydney.
Xavier even told him, "Why didn't you tell me who's your tag team partner? You didn't even communicate this type of tactic, the teamwork. Like, we literally told Jay and we literally told Damian to not come and help us. But you're gonna go LWO because they took out Rey Mysterio, but you didn't think of mentioning me, my dude? The guy that's your partner in, and then if you told them,
man.
like Watkins just said, if you're gonna tell them to come and help us, why the fuck are you
Well-
still out there in the outside of the ring giving the hands to one of them?"
Yeah,
we
it
didn't even see
doesn't-
in the camera work, and the ref is trying to take your attention, bro. That scene of the camera reminded me of the joke from Kevin Hart when he literally said his uncle, his friend, was fighting somebody, and the whole time Kevin Hart was in the background just watching the fight happen, and his excuse like, "I didn't go help you because if I go help you, we both getting beat up, so one of us have to take each other home." That's what I was looking at from Xavier. Like, yo, literally, he literally had to slap the ground to say, "Hey, 1, 2, 3." But also, he was getting angry to try to get the attention of the ref or from
Yeah.
Kofi. Like, bro, help me! What the fuck are you at over there?
Yeah. And the moral of the story is all that really mattered here was the New Day story, because my own thoughts on this whole thing, like, the Judgment Day doesn't need the Judgment Day doesn't. How many F-bombs am I allowed for this show?
That's many. I would say. Like, you
How
know,
many F-bombs do we have in the budget? Let me check the budget real quick.
Let's see. I got 4, so I'll work with the 4 viewers that we have now.
And I think some rolled over too, so you might have 6 or 7. So
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to use it that much, but I'm just going to say at this point that the Judgment Day doesn't really need the fucking titles anymore, because the whole reason to have a tag division to begin with is to elevate it and help it feel important. The only reason why they have these titles is because they're prop items, and like Vash brought up, these titles haven't been defended for over 84 days. So why are these titles even on there? Because they're not really relevant to the story. Liv's title is relevant to the story. Their titles aren't relevant to the story. So why do we need to continuously see them every single week? Like, it doesn't make sense. That's why it's hard for me to really invest time in these sort of things, because it's always the same shit over and over and over again. Nobody cares about this segment. Nobody's talking about this segment. The only thing that people really care for that came out of this, that I've noticed from numerous people, is the New Day story. That was the only thing that a lot of people were invested in, because they're really curious to see where it's going. And there's actually layers to it. They actually were able to figure out exactly what sort of direction they were going to go down after they dropped the whole Odyssey Jones story, which I really do appreciate that they had another idea in mind that they wanted to do. So that's what people are tuned into next week. And it just makes me think, like, do you really need to have him as like a prop item just to make them look like all cute and sexy and stuff? Like, do you really need that? No, you need to get rid of it, need to drop it. I need to have either like other tag teams on, like, try to do something with like American Made, help them feel special in any sort of way. It's just really lazy. I'm tired of like the laziness though.
yeah.
I'm very lazy.
And I mean, this is just almost across the board. I'm not even lumping NXT in this, because at least they know how to run their tag division. But like, and I think Drop, you and me had actually had a conversation similar to this, like on SmackDown. I think this past week, where it's just like, just what are we doing with any tag team division? Like,
yeah,
just what, like, why? You know, like, I get the bloodline having that, you know, because that kind of does feed into that story of them like gaining power and all that. Yeah. That makes sense. With the Judgment Day, they are literally just holding on to them like they were like this diamond ring that they found in the gutter. which basically is what the world tag titles are. They're a diamond ring that they found in a damn sewer of a stupid freaking Taco Bell. Like,
They need
I just don't.
Motor City Machine Guns. We know why you're heading down to NXT, because you really want to start building up that tag team division again, which I really do appreciate. Can't wait to see you on the main roster, because I know you guys are going to be doing something special, unlike this shit that we're seeing every single goddamn week.
And it's like,
I just want to say, for anybody, we feel and understand Xavier. Like, when he was literally telling WWE, like, why were you guys there? And, yo, as much as I didn't want to see New Day turn or break up, that moment when Kofi said, yo, guys, thank you guys for coming, I would have snapped. I would have fucking snapped. I would have been like, boy, hold up. Why are you thanking them? They fucking cost a match. And Kofi continues saying, thank you guys. I would literally, hold up. Boy, shut the fuck up. That would piss me the fuck off. It's like, boy, I literally took out what's the big donut head name, not Finn, what's his partner, JD.
Oh, JD.
Miss Funko Pop.
Yes, Miss Funko Pop. We literally, oh my god, Xavier knocked him down and everything. And I love how Xavier acted just so well, like the frustration and everything, knowing the angerness. Like, yo, bro, like
he's always had it.
Like, I'm not angry at you. I'm just angry at the action you did that caused us what it did. Like, your cause did the effect of this. I'm not angry at you as a friend, but you've been slacking your communication. And I love how you brought that shit up, because it's like, communication is key for any relationship. And Xavier explains, like, yo, as your tart partner, we're about to reach a 10-year. And I love how commentary even brought this up, like, yo, Xavier's always the most positive man in narrative. I'm like, yes. And even even the movesets in this match, he reminded me when he was wrestling back in Japan. He was so good in his movesets. He was knocking it out very good with JD and Finn. He did he grabbed him on the side and he did such a great flip. The fucking the transitions were so smooth. I'm sorry, just ramble. Like, I was trying to go from
no,
rant.
You're fine. You're good.
No, to speak on technical aspect. I was trying to be positive. Like, yes.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. You just said it right there at the end. Like, this is the most positive thing to come out of the entire Judgment Day thing. Like, and I mean, we'll talk about the main event here shortly. But like, with this whole I keep saying Judgment Day when I mean New Day. With the whole New Day thing, it's like, I'm glad that they finally are addressing the big issue with it, which is the fact that they don't have Big E, which Kofi mentions. He's like, yeah, I asked them to because we don't have E. And like, it's that, just you and finally me. He says it.
Those words also, like, that. Wait. You just say you and me. What do you mean by that? And Kofi's like, I didn't say,
am I not good enough?
You just gaslighted. Like, the words you just said, gaslighted him when he's already ignited. It's like, no, Kofi, you fucked up.
And also, the New Day needed something new for quite some time, like a compelling story for them to work with, because they've been on the back burner for quite some time now. They haven't really been put on like television to like actually do something meaningful. We were there a little bit before certain someone went bye-bye, but now they actually have a compelling story to work with, and a lot of people are invested in it, just like how Vash shared his thoughts and Watkins shared his thoughts. It's something needed. And if we're going to go down this direction with New Day and have Xavier turn on Kofi Kingston, I'm okay with it because it makes sense. Xavier has legitimate reasons. For the most part, the community agrees with Xavier when it comes to the poor communication skills between Kofi and Xavier, because it doesn't really make any sense, just like how Vash explained it. Because let's say that me and Watkins were a tag team and we had to figure out a strategy when we were going up against whatever opponents for like the tag belts. And let's say I had a certain strategy in my head I wanted to do within the match, but I wasn't communicating with Watkins properly. And then all of a sudden you have Vash and his whole posse come out trying to help us like win the match. So none of the other teams people come out and interfere and just ruin the whole entire thing. And Watkins would be like, wait, we discussed this before. What's going on? Like you can't really blame Xavier for being in that situation, because any normal person who functions like that and sees all of these things going on in front of them, they're going to react that way. So I like how it was very human the way he was reacting, because you could picture any person in that scenario about to blow up any minute like a ticking time bomb just because of everything that happened.
And I mean, good on Xavier. Like, I mean, he held in a lot too. Like, he could have he could have thrown some jabs at Kofi at that moment, but like, he at least character wise, at least has the emotional maturity to be like, you know what, I'm gonna say my little bit here, but like still hold back some stuff, because I mean, anybody else would have been like, they would have been like, Kofi, we're done. Like, I'm over this. I'm moving on from this.
I would have not even said we're done. I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna just smack the shit out of you right now, or not even say I would do it. I'm like, bro, nah. How you gonna fuck us over? We literally could have been a 13th time champion, and I would have loved to see Kofi and Xavier holding those titles. So nice on them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And man, another thing I really do like about this as well is that Kofi's had his big moment. Big E has had his big moment. Every member in the New Day has had their big moment except Xavier, and this is Xavier's big moment to actually do something significant for his character to stand out. And I feel like this is going to be something good for him, because he deserves to have a moment. His brothers did, his boys that he's been through many adventures with over the years. He deserves to have a shining moment too, and I feel like this heel turn is going to do wonders for him.
Yeah, and I mean, he won the King of the Ring way back when, but it's like, okay, you did that, great, awesome, fantastic. It's like, now that you've already done that, it's like, oh, like he already achieved his dream. It's like in One Piece, if like, by not even the time skip, if they found the all blue for Sanji, and Sanji found that, it's just like, oh great, I found the all blue. I don't have a dream anymore. It's like, okay, where does Sanji go from there? Because he's already found the all blue. Does he keep going with Luffy to the ends of the earth? Like, what does he do? Like, he's already reached his dream. He's already achieved all that. It's like, where do you go from there? So it's like, that's kind of where Xavier's been since winning that King of the Ring. It's just like, okay, where do you go from there? Because like, again, like you said, Big E got his big moment. Kofi got his big moment, and even though Xavier got the moment he wanted, it's not the big moment, and I feel like he's still going to be chasing that, unfortunately, for a little bit while longer, because like kind of like with Jey Uso, like Jey still hasn't really found that much singles success, and he's not gonna find it next week either, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, maybe I don't know. We'll see. But like, it's funny because like the whole like New Day thing. Well, first of all, do y'all have anything else to add with the New Day aspect of the Judgment Day shenanigans?
No. Other than the New Day might be breaking up, and hopefully it doesn't get officially broken up, because they're dead as about to reach their 10-year anniversary later, like in 5 weeks. I believe.
That's probably. I think that's the point, because they keep bringing it up, so they want something significant to happen at that very moment.
So
either they're breaking up or Big E comes back.
Exactly, and probably Big
one
E,
of those two.
Yeah,
Big E coming back on screen to have them like, hey guys, don't fight. We're family. Come on, don't let it be like that.
Give the rock bottom to both of them. Just steal the Rock's move out of. Just steal the Rock's move out of nowhere.
I'm okay with that.
Stun them.
Other than that, this New Day, I'm liking the direction. Our third wheel character got Thanos snap, so we got to move forward. We got to pivot. So I can't wait to see what happens on New Day next week. And it's also going to be interesting when they're still friends with their show up down down. So it's also going to be hilarious when what's on screen and off screen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that usually is whenever they have people on there. But yeah, so like the New Day stuff makes sense because of what's going on.
Yes.
When we get into like the Judgment Day stuff now too, like leading up to our our main event here tonight. So I actually had some issue with this conversation of Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley here. And I kind of went off a little bit before we went on air with it. but like what some of what Finn was saying made sense. It was like, okay, you know what? I get it. Because Damien Priest, he was somebody that he didn't really help you guys out too much, you know? Like he was kind of in it for himself and just kind of left you guys alone. Rhea, I understood why she didn't because hey, WWE doesn't do the whole intergender thing, so it's like not like the guys can really get one over on her. And plus, she was helping Dom win the North American title and hold that for a bit. Like she was helping the Judgment Day overall. So for Finn to go up to her and be like, you know, you and Priest both acted like you cared. You only cared about yourself. You didn't do anything for the rest. I'm just sitting there like, Finn, did you see the same Rhea Ripley that we did or that I did? Because she did a lot more than Damien Priest did.
Yeah. That's what I don't understand about that segment because like I can understand the whole situation with Priest because there's a lot of evidence there to pull from when it comes to that sort of dynamic that they have with each other. But Rhea was pretty much like the glue that kept everybody together. Like she literally put herself out on the battlefield to sacrifice herself many times to make sure that everything was in order. Even when Finn and Damian were button heads, like all those months ago, she was trying to keep them on track to make sure that nothing went down the opposite direction. So when he was calling her out and all this different kinds of stuff, I'm like, Finn, what are you doing here? Like, I understand you're trying to get under her skin. You're trying to say all this different kinds of shit to really set her off. But at the same time, you know, it's like, what is this like proving at this moment? Like, oh yeah, I was rooting for Dom to do all that stuff. I'm like, okay, I mean
that part I didn't mind because like it's showing that Finn had been planning all this and he was, you know, like he was going through the motions for it. But like my biggest thing is like the logic with the Rhea part is it's like Rhea did do what she could to help you guys out. Like it's not her fault that she was injured for a few months. That was Liv. Like the one that you know had Dom go up against, but it's like Finn, buddy, come on.
I get what you mean with that, but it's like the other comments, like it just seems like just to say something, to say something.
It just felt off for me. The one thing I did like about this conversation is what Walker brought up about like saying like, hey. I was rooting for Dom and everything, but like, hey Rhea, I wanted to see your downfall, but also I love Rhea expression, her getting angry, like yo, Finn, you're just adding more fuel to the fire, where Rhea's already angry at you guys, but then now she finding out that you was the mastermind that's pulling the strings of little boy Dirty Dom, of him getting puppy by you, saying like, yeah, go be with Liv. So that means he took the hotel keys all those months ago to tell Dom later like, yo, I got the keys for you. Here, take Liv to the hotel or go meet her there.
Yeah. Like,
but
like again, there's some good in it, but like there were a couple of the logic things where I'm just like, I don't know if that really works out in your narrative, but you know.
But we
neither
did
here nor there, but hey,
I was gonna say we did speak about the flip side of Finn and Rhea. Now let's go to the other side of what happened later, which was with Damian and the Sucia. I mean, sorry, with Liv Morgan. It was an interesting debate.
Translation.
Sucia. I'm gonna use the PG version. Anybody that wants to know the rated R version, go online and search that one. I'm gonna be respectful because I would love to have Liv here as a guest in the future. So, Liv, we appreciate you.
It's all kayfabe. It's all kayfabe.
But for translation, PG version, it means nasty or dirty for Sucia. For anybody that don't know, I'm gonna just say once and twice is slut. That is the slang version of what this word Sucia means. So I love that segment. I love Damian and Liv. It also was hilarious because our boy Damian looked like a giant over Liv. That was hilarious.
Pretty tall dude.
Yeah, he was pretty tall during that whole scene. But I pretty enjoyed very much with them. I didn't really expect for them to have a segment, and The one thing I'm gonna say, because even Drop brought it up earlier, Liv, I get it that you want to put the emphasis on the pausing for your promo to try to make feel what you're trying to tell us, make feel impactful and powerful. But it feels off. Either you're taking too long breaks, the pauses, or the way you're moving your lips is like, it's like the lips and the laugh exactly that Walker's is doing, like, and just the laugh around it. It just feels very cringy. That's my only comment. I don't know if it's meant to be on purpose. If it's meant to be on purpose, then girl, do your fucking thing. If it's not on purpose, you kind of shooting like a 20, not like a good 80 with that promo, with the tone. That's my only thing about it, about this. How about you guys?
Honestly, like, I didn't mind the segment between Damian and Liv, because, you know, it was kind of interesting to see a oh, and I just saw something.
Okay.
Actually,
okay.
Yeah, Watkins first. Something came up on my phone. I want to make sure.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I was fine with it because, like, again, Liv is just this kind of character who will stir the pot. So, you know, of course, her going up to Damian and being like, haha, you're a has-been. It wasn't hard to get the boys against you guys. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense for Liv to, you know, go up to him and be like that and act like that. So, and of course, for Damien to clap back as he did. Yeah, I mean, it just made sense. I wasn't like, there wasn't really anything logical I could be like, oh, this is bad, this is horrible. It's just like, okay, this happened, basically. Like, that's basically the gist of this part, is just like, it happened, it existed, and it was okay.
I would say this.
Oh, man, but...
It felt like a high school moment when there's a hot girl that enters a new friend group and she turns on the current girl in that friend group and takes all the other friends to come with her. That's what that felt like.
Yeah.
Her trying to stick it like, yeah, I took your bitches, I took your friends, I got everyone behind me. What you got next? And then Damian clap back, and then he just walk up like, "Alright, deuces, gang."
But like, I love how this all just, it's leading towards the main event. Our main event being Damien Priest versus Dirty Ass Dom. Very, very one-sided affair. Like, again, I'm not gonna go on a full rant about it, but it's like, it's just the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's where, like, Rhea and Damian are basically like, they're having no problems with the Judgment Day, having to deal with them at all. But it just takes one little slip up for them to start failing and start losing and all that. And it's like, how many more times do we have to do this? And I know I said, I think it was during our Bash in Berlin coverage, it's like, I get the idea behind it, where it's like, okay, we're getting more stuff for more content for our promo packages, so that way we can have a very interesting promo package. You know, that's fine and dandy, that's all good, that's cool, neat. But when you're going on a weekly like show and like a weekly like segments with all this, it just gets boring, it gets too samey. Like, the only difference with this beatdown is the fact that there was a possibility, the slim chance, that Ilya Dragunov would get involved because of the segment before this, where Judgment Day confront him very briefly. There was that, and the fact that when Jay came out there, it looked like he was going to help, but Braun Breaker, I guess late to his cue, came out and speared Jay. Like, that was the only difference between this beatdown and any other one we've seen. Like, it just, it did nothing for me.
I'm gonna be honest, once out of this 2 hours and a half, me and Walkers were watching Raw, we were like in it, we were like, oh my god, what's the main event gonna be? We each keep we had the word, like, I would have rather see the World Tag Team Titles match of Judgment Day happen as the main event, or rather see Bianca
That's what I thought.
Belair ended the show. I'd rather have seen those things than this main event. Like, I don't mind seeing Damian as the main event. He's a good main eventer.
Yeah.
Dom as a main eventer, he is good as a comedy person, not as a main eventer fight. But for both of them to have a main event and to continue the runaround joke of the story of like, okay, we're gonna have continued distraction of the ref, but the ref is not gonna kick them out. Like the ref literally cannot be like, hey, you guys are banned from ringside. Get the fuck out of here already. I'm tired of this bullshit.
Yeah.
But no, the ref wanna go outside in Kofi's match and try to take Kofi out, but instead of pay attention to who is on the ring right now, but instead on the main event one, the ref is like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm gonna just like let you guys continue distracting me and do the fucking you know what, I'm gonna just
Yeah.
So the match
it's-
happened. The main event happened. It was what is what it is. I could have been. I took a nap. It was a good nap. 20 minutes. That's what I'm gonna say.
Ah! Oh shit! Like that's the thing. It was completely one sided, and I get it. I know that's the whole story. That's the whole kayfabe thing. I get that. I understand that. It's just like, damn it! Can't we get anything more from this?
I even
Like-
thought we were gonna have a match cooking. I even told Walker like, hey, I'm gonna be back. I told him like at 10:30, 10:35, Dom and his crew's coming out. Damien didn't come out till fucking 10:44 after all that commercial. Literally after 10 minutes of them hanging out, commercial and everything, Damien didn't come out. I'm like, oh, I think we're gonna have a 20-minute match of cooking. No, it was literally a 10-minute match, more or less. And I was so disappointed in that. I was like, this could have been a lot better with Damien. He has his new family. He's like fucking our boy Dominic Toretto. He better show up next year if Damien has a match at WrestleMania. Let's talk about family or some shit, because our boy Damien, that's what he keeps talking about. I got my new family here. All of you guys, all my fans, like, so that means you're Dominic Toretto, my guy. Cool, copy, understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to like, now to get back on track, because that some random number was trying to call me, so that
Oh,
fraud shit. But
fun.
like pretty much like my overall thoughts on this, honestly, I mean, it's the same thing we see all the time. That's why it wasn't really moving me, because the only things that I really took like some time to really like pay attention to really was what we already discussed, the backstage segments, the matches itself, Damian and Dom. Come on, man. I mean, it's hard for me to really take that as like a legit main event, because
Yeah.
the exact same scenario plays out every single time. And it's hard to really say, well, you know, there was good spots there was good spots here. You can only say that so much. But when it comes to like the overall story, like the only thing that really progressed it was the backstage segments. This right here, nothing. It's just like you could there could have been there was at least two different matches you could have ended the show. If you could have ended it with the whole Bronson Reed or Braun Strowman, you could have ended that with EO and Bianca. This, I mean, it didn't really do anything. And then you have like the whole thing with Dragunov, which we thought was going to get followed up, but it really didn't. So I assume that's probably going to play into next week. But it's like you need to be more creative, because I noticed that this has been like a pattern that I've seen where it's like always the same matches being played in the old regime, which is something that we were hoping with the new regime they wouldn't go back to. Because I remember seeing the exact same guys fighting every single week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, because we've seen Damian and Dom before. We've seen Damian and JD McDonough before. It's like, if you're gonna do something, you know, do something significant instead of like hitting your finisher, laying them out, making you look strong. It's something that has to be more compelling with that, especially if what you were building up in the backstage segments. You got to like continue that even further and make an even bigger statement, because you can only attack people for so long. Like if you're doing stuff like Bronson Reed level, I could be like, okay, I could see where you're coming with, because when Bronson Reed, at least when he goes out there, he makes a statement every single time, and he doesn't always do the same thing. He does something different. So comparing it to that and what we saw right here, wasn't really that compelling.
Plus,
It really wasn't, you
to
know.
even
And
have the
like,
ending.
I even have it here. Mm,
No, go ahead, Walkers. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I'm just looking at our notes here, and I even have it here, and I'm pretty sure I said it earlier too when we were hanging out. Let's hope this is an actual match, and like, and on one hand, you know, technically speaking, yes, it was a match. There was the big starting bell, there was an ending bell, there was a pinfall, there was moves that happened, yes. But this was just, it was more of an angle than
It
anything. It
was
was just more of just like, yeah, let's just build up the same thing over and over again.
to kind of not be a dead horse. Is how
Yeah.
Triple H says his goal is to focus on long term booking, but Triple H, and it might not be you, it might be the old regime in the writers' room that have this mentality still. And I get it that you're trying to try things out, try to listen to your peers and everything, but you gotta have your foot on the brakes and like, hey guys, let's change
Switch
things
it up.
up. Let's have stipulation.
Mhm.
Let's have the ref ban them.
Yeah.
Let's have a different wrinkle in our story that doesn't feel repetitive.
Mhm.
A match could be entertaining, no matter how the 5 out of 5 match could be. If there's no story that will make us want to actually be in love or involved or care for the match, you're not gonna
Yeah.
get anybody to fuck with it. We have 3 people here as a panel right now who did not give a fuck about the main event. Even our chat even started saying the main event suck. Holy crap.
And that's supposed to be
It-
the strongest part of the show.
and
Mhm.
that is not a good look. So it shows that this could have been a lot better. So overall, the main event was subpar. The 2 hours and a half of the show was truly brilliant. If you take out the commercials, honestly, this could have been a 2 hour show and it would have been perfect.
Oh shit! Funny you mentioned that it's a 2-hour show, huh? It's almost like a 2-hour show format does and can work, but whatever.
Mhm.
That's neither here nor there. But do we have anything else? Do we even want to give any more time for the Judgment Day with all their sameness?
No.
I'm good to
All right, good.
I'm good to move on to our boy, the Sami
Oh,
Zayn.
good. Good. You're ready for more same of the same variety.
Yeah,
Of
I
the
actually do
same
have
of
some
the
thoughts on
same.
that too. I definitely
Yeah,
have.
like, so we're moving on to our world title picture. We're slowly, very, very slowly moving towards Gunther versus Sami Zayn 2 for the world title. This apparently, if you believe reports to be, well, believed or true, this is slated internally for Bad Blood. It just hasn't been announced yet officially. So, take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But
Which
this is basically just, yeah.
if it does happen, that would be the first PLE that Raw has 4 matches for the PLE and then 1 match from SmackDown on the PLE.
Mm.
That's bonkers. That's
But then,
crazy.
but then
like,
remember, SmackDown the night before, they would treat it as 0.5 of the pre-show version of Bad Blood the night before.
Yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
was pretty sure.
yeah, true.
So like the SmackDown
But-
the night before PLE makes sense. But this match or this promo work, I will say, my highlight out of this promo work, thank fucking God, Sami Zayn stopped calling himself the fucking underdog. I was tired of hearing that shit for weeks back when he was going for the IC title. I'm like, bro, we know you're not the underdog no more. We like, you came out of that position. Like, yes, you might be the underdog for Gunther, but you're not the underdog in the main roster. Like, stop saying that. And so I'm happy he has moved on from that shit, cause it's like, oh, so exhausting. Like, at times, like, yo, Sammy, like, your promo work is great. It tells the emotion, but it's kind of getting repetitive. Like, we get it. You're the underdog, week to week with Jackie Redmond interview. But this promo work, you felt the emotion. You felt the way, like, he said, yo, I beat you once. I know you're scared of me, my dude. I could go and whip your ass one more time and bring you your balls down your throat, my G Gunther. So I love that.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with this. It's like, Because I get it with like the whole underdog thing, but like that's kind of Sammy's shtick, is that he's the ultimate underdog. Um, I mean that's just kind of his thing. That's his gimmick. But I do understand. Oh, that can get Sammy because
It's fine
again,
it's fine if it's the gimmick.
this whole
but
segment was just the same.
it
It was
doesn't
the
have to be
same. It was the
said.
same crap we're getting every week. It's the
Exactly.
same stuff. It's just like it's Sammy being like, Gunther, I challenge you. Gunther, no, you're not even on my level. It's like I get the story they're telling. I get it. I understand it. But like it's the whole thing that we were saying about the Judgment Day. You're just doing the same shit to put in a goddamn stupid ass promo thing or like before the match. And it's like, yeah, that'll be great, you know, because you have a great production team. It'll be great. It'll be fine. But again, the week to week grind with it is it's boring. It's boring. It barely gets my teeth synced into it, which sucks because I know this match is going to be a banger. I know that for a fact. But it's the fact that the promo we're going into it is just it's boring. It's boring. And even throwing in the seed with like Ludwig Kaiser betraying or going against Gunther. Yeah, you plant that seed. That's great. That's awesome. That's fantastic. That's literally all this segment did. That's all it did moving forward with this. Other than like, oh, Sami Zayn's standing on top again with Gunther. He can beat Gunther because, hey, he beat him at WrestleMania. You're also basically just telling us who's going to win this next match. Like, you're not giving us any seeds of doubt or anything. You're basically saying, oh, yeah, Gunther's going to win because, hey, Sami Zayn already beat him once. He can't do it again. Like, it's just...
Yeah, that's the thing that
it's talking down to us. Like it's treating us like we're stupid. And we had a different regime with all that. Like
insulting our intelligence.
Yeah, it's I think that's why I'm so like angry and aggravated about it. It's like you're insulting our intelligence, just like what Drop said. Like you're insulting us by saying, "Oh, you like the same shit, don't you?" It's like not all the time, no. Like, come on. And I know I'm like going on like another tirade here, but it's like,
No.
damn it.
To add fuel to the fire of your conversation, it's like for anybody that's a comic book reader, or for anybody that watch seasonal fucking TV show, like, I'm gonna give a great example for anybody that watch live action TV show. The Arrow or the CW verse or the Flash or the DC Legends or Supergirl. Anybody watch any of those shows? Seasonal shows repeat storyline and arcs of characters because you have a 21 episode. The same thing like Raw. You have Raw for 52 weeks. You have 52 episodes, or they do roughly now 49 or good 51 episodes that are actually live. So for that, they need to sometimes repeat the story. It's fine to repeat it. Just have a little stipulation each week where it's different. No. Like I'm saying, repeat the story or have it repetitive, but do not make it feel like copy and paste week to week. Because after that, it's going to get stagnant. You're going to have people losing interest, or it's going to feel not consistent. And that's not good for a product that is 30 years and continue on many more. So this is fucking getting tiring when Sami comes out. Like when I mentioned earlier, it's fine if that's your gimmick, but do not fucking repeat it to the audience and coming out again to tell, hey, Kaiser, I'm a better man than you. And they kind of be like, nah, I don't think you can find my guy. And I love how Sami was just saying like, hey, and I know that by the way, Kaiser knows how to rock an all black suit or an all black type of attire because this man knows how to get like, he's sleek. And by the way, praise him with having know how to bag Tiffany. Quick side.
But but like pretty much to like chime in and to like add more fuel to the fire and just make a big explosion at this point. I it's hard for me to really put any time to really care about this because we already seen this story play out around WrestleMania when it came to Gunther and Sami. So it's like, why do you have to repeat the same story again? Like saying how Gunther is afraid of Sami because Gunther knows that Sami beat him before, and you have to keep running back and forth. Like there literally hasn't been like any progression with this story at all. It's like, okay, we're trying to build up Gunther's next challenger, and we know that they're building Gunther to be this next big thing, but it's like the way that you're trying to like orchestrate this story, it's not really allowing any people to really care, because it's like same promos are being cut like it was discussed, planting seeds for another potential split up with Imperium, which personally, just looking at where Giovanni Vinci is at this very moment, I kind of wish they never really split up, because that was a perfect tag team, but that's another story for another day. But it's like, it's just not doing anything for me, because when I watch wrestling, it's like I spoke about before, you can only do so much with the matches. Like, you can put on like a whole bunch of great matches all the time. I mean, it's kind of like you go to a movie, like Brash is bringing up comic books, I'll bring up a movie. It's kind of, let's say that you're watching like a trilogy of a movie, and you're following the character's journey from the first movie all the way to the third movie, which is meant to be the final movie of that trilogy. And you're seeing how things build up over time, and it flows very well. But then all of a sudden you throw all these random pieces in here, and then you have the plot going at a straight direction, that all of a sudden it keeps going up and down, curving side to side, and it's just like this big scribble in front of you. It's just really hard to follow at this point, because it's like, okay, you're building it up right here, but then all of a sudden it's like all the way down the street at a dead end, not knowing how to get out of it. Now you're all of a sudden you're in this like this big giant hole you can't even get out of. Like, we know how great of a storyteller Sami Zayn is. We know how big of a threat Gunther is. Just extend on the story we've seen from them before and build more into it. I personally wanted to see like a little more like aggressiveness. You didn't need Bret Hart for that, but be more aggressive. Have like, I mean, Sami has been standing up for himself, so I'm not going to take that away from him. But just be more aggressive. Follow him around and find him, and just talk directly in his face to really make him take you as like a serious threat, because we want to care about this. And this is your centerpiece, just like how Cody is on Friday nights. Everything's set in stone there. You got to do the same thing with Gunther, especially since this is your guy. This is meant to be your next big final boss character that we know that they're putting a lot of time into. And I mean, come on. And then you have, I just saw on Twitter, as you guys were giving your thoughts on this, now you got Kaiser bringing in Kevin Owens up for whatever reason. I assume it's probably just to talk more shit on Sami, saying, oh well, he left your ass. But it's like, come on, man, you got to do a little bit more than that. And I personally, I would rather have Kaiser, focus on whatever he's doing, because you don't always need the guys with the champion all the time. Have Gunther be Gunther, have Sami be Sami. Just have it revolve around them. Because now Gunther's at the point where he's like, you know what? I built myself at this point where I don't need to have my guy with me all the time. He doesn't need it. We know that. He knows how to talk on the mic. He knows how to get in people's faces. He doesn't need, especially somebody like Gunther, somebody who has personally seen him wrestle on like the independent scene and NXT UK and stuff. This is coming from the guy that made Ilya Dragunov, out of all people, break down and cry. If Gunther really wants to get at that level and be aggressive and get in Sami's face and actually rub it in, like they've been doing, rub it in that he's never been a world champion, just build more into that, make it be aggressive, add into the bad blood theme of the show. If this isn't dead, and if this is a match that's going to be put onto the show, which it should, just dig deeper into that.
Yeah. And like, so a couple takeaways I had from you going off on it. First of all, when you were explaining it with like the whole movie trilogy thing, it sounded like you were for me, it sounded like you were describing modern Star Wars, so I appreciate that for that.
Oh yeah.
But the other thing, like the other thing too, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna go out and say this, and say what you want about like the program he had with Randy, because I also had my issues with that as well. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Gunther was written better when he was IC champion. he was written way better when he was IC champion, because he actually was like, I don't want to necessarily just say a threat, because he is a threat, you know, even with the world title, but like the way he carried himself as IC champion, the way he was booked as IC champion, the way he was presented as IC champion was far and beyond better than he is as world champion right now, which sucks, because we have been waiting for this day for him to be world champion, and yet he is not even the most important thing on his show. He's like the third, maybe even fourth most important thing on his show, which absolutely, that's like making Luffy your least important character of your damn show.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine degrading Cody like
you
that.
can't do that.
Imagine them degrading Cody. Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
remember when I used to say when Seth Rollins used to open the show as the world title champion? It felt something. It felt meaningful, because he literally said, "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins." It felt something powerful as a champion. It made it feel that you're the main star. Even though Damian didn't do that very often, he was at least there starting the show in the first hour. Gunther not even showing up but starting the show, even though CM Punk is still a main star. Not saying that I wouldn't mind, CM Punk starting the show, but Gunther should have been the person to at least be their first hour, be the promotion. He has to be, because you are the guy that is showing up screen and being the main person. So why the fuck are you not doing that?
No.
Yeah.
It's annoying, and it's like, again, the match is gonna be great. You know, I know for a fact the match is gonna be great. Yeah. It's just leading up to it. You know, it's the whole argument. Like, and I'm gonna keep making comparisons like this over and over again, but I don't care. It's literally the same thing about like what happens when you're reading a weekly manga. It's like, okay, sometimes, you know, and I'll reference One Piece again with this. It's like when you're reading One Piece weekly, it's like, okay, sometimes it can be a drag, especially when you start getting to like the ends of arcs, and it kind of drags like a little bit longer, and you're just waiting for it to end so that way you can get to the next arc, because you know the next arc is going to be really good. But then like when the arc is over and you go back and you reread it on like the binge and see like the whole big picture, the issues you had with it weekly tend to go down, at least for me. And I'm just like, okay, I get this. You know, it makes more sense. It makes better sense. Everything is fine now that we have the grander picture. And that's kind of the same with WWE right now. It's like, okay, we're getting the same shit. And, you know, tonight it seems like it's, you know, Monday night bitching, which is fine. Actually, whatever. Sometimes you just need to get it out. But it's just like, yeah, like it'll make sense and it'll be better in the long run. It's just like right now, damn it, like why?
And I honestly, and after talking about this for a while, it reminds me that the next segment that we're about to talk about is actually using those foundations the correct way to properly build up to a match.
Exactly, you know, but I mean, with that being said, do you guys want to talk about something that was actually really good on the show?
Yep.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to segue into it, because it's a good example.
Good. Thank you. Exactly. You know, because we're going to go into our mid-card stories now, because, you know, we're done with our main event. We're done with our headline. We're talking about all the mid-card stuff. We've got our upper mid-card and what sounds like to be the main event of Bad Blood. If you listen to Drew McIntyre's response to this, we had CM Punk on the show, and he gave, honestly, probably one of his best promos in a long time. And
ever since he came back, too.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to go back with some of the AEW stuff just to kind of make a definitive statement with it.
Well, strictly WWE.
Yeah. And it's one of these promos, and this is where I love, because like here's the thing, when somebody's very mad and when somebody's very done with something, they're not yelling, they're not like getting overblown, all like they're not overly getting emotional. They're very reserved, they're very quiet, they're very monotone, and that's how CM Punk was tonight, just being like, look, I'm at the point of my career where people are asking me how many matches do I have left, like going off on like that. But like just his delivery with everything, like this is a man who is just done with this. He is ready, and he even says too, he's like, I will throw my life away if it means just like destroying you.
Yeah.
And like see this exactly this the shit I can like get my teeth into, you know. And I'm expecting something. I'm expecting a massacre. Like I'm not thinking, you know, unsanctioned, you know, Swerve Hangman levels, but I'm expecting some sort of like
your head.
Yeah. I will.
I'm at least expecting some like Jeff Hardy screwdriver in the ear kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like just looking at the build up to this match so far, that it might honestly be, and people can call me crazy if I say this, but this might be the most, and when I say violent, I don't necessarily mean like blood everywhere or anything, but this might be the most violent match that we've seen in WWE for a very long time. Like actually incorporating hatred within a match and showing it on levels that we've never seen between both of these characters. Because I don't know if any of you guys online watching the show, listening to the show, if you're at work or whatever later on, wherever the chance you get to watch the podcast, I don't know if you guys catch CM Punk actually tweeting a picture of his face during that dog collar match that he had with MJF on his Instagram. And obviously they're throwing that out for a reason. Obviously Punk is speaking the way he is for a reason, because it just makes me feel deep inside the way that they're building this match, that this match is just going to be absolutely chaotic, especially if it's a Hell in a Cell match. And we know that Punk is a great storyteller. We know that Drew is a great storyteller. I definitely expect them to go all out. Like, I expect it to be absolutely violent. I expect it to be just something that really shows us this right here. If you were to put Hell in a Cell in a dictionary and give it a definition, that match itself would give you the clear definition of what a Hell in a Cell match truly is when it comes to the conclusion of a feud once and for all. And I just loved how, like, you saw what Punk, he usually comes out there, it's like, what time is it? Clobbering time. Nope. Completely serious. Completely serious. Like Watkins said, that's what you need to do. You need to show those, you need to like display your body language very well to show the audience how you're truly feeling, because that's how you sell segments like this. That's how you get people invested in the story. That's why I said earlier, this might be one of his best promos that he's cut since he returned to WWE, because this Punk that we see right here, the very serious Punk, the Punk that isn't afraid to say that's what's on his mind, this might be like one of the best like Punk segments, that Punk promos that we've gotten since he's returned, because this is what CM Punk is known for, just being absolutely brutal with everything that comes out of his mouth. And I just loved it. It's almost making me feel like I have the chills now when the match hasn't even started yet. It's just the way that he was delivering every line, looking close to the camera. Like, I just loved how that whole segment was produced, just showing how Punk was looking at Drew dead in the eye, and Drew was at home. He even like mentioned this. It's like, yes, this is the CM Punk I want, because you need to bring the best. You need to rip off the chains, have them be as wild as they possibly can be. And I'm honestly like, I'm really excited. It's like, I'm gonna make you bleed, promise that you will have to kill me because I am prepared to die. Like, this is almost like the finale of a movie. This is almost like, okay, you got like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor teaming up together to confront Thanos once and for all again, and actually win the fight this time. This is what it like truly shows. It's like, okay, main character versus main villain, final fight, final war arc, and a battle shonen. Like, it's crazy, and I love it. I love it. The selling for it, it's great.
I mean, this is like, I mean, maybe not beat for beat like this, but just in the whole raw visceral aspect of it. This would almost be like like a Naruto Sasuke kind of thing, at least when it comes to like the emotions behind it, because it's like one's gonna stay in the dark. Okay, maybe not Naruto and Sasuke. That might be just a stretch with that one, but like it's just that whole idea of like I'm going to kill myself by trying to kill you. Like I am going to end you. We're both not going to end this. And I like how too CM Punk was just like, if you're not prepared to put an end to yourself, to Drew McIntyre, then you're not ready to put an end to me. Like we're in those kind of levels, and I'm hoping with the match, if it does get as brutal as we're kind of imagining it to be, I'm hoping that they sell the effects of it after that, because that's always been my issue with like, they're going to have to, exactly, because like that's always been my problem with like modern day WWE with like matches like this, or I mean even like Elimination Chamber, that's been flanderized or whatever the correct term for that would be. Like that's become a match where it's just like, it's brutal and all that. Just like, well, not really, because you guys got pads now on the outside, which yes, that helps protect the talent and all that. Good, awesome, but like you kind of lose that intensity with it, and like all the other stuff like the chains and all that around the Elimination Chamber, that's also kind of gone down too. But like that's also a whole different other match. But I digress. It's just like the idea of like selling the effects of the match you were just in, you know. So I hope they do that, and
it has potential to be like one of the matches of the year, honestly. Like just based on the storytelling alone, and it's and like I'm just predicting like whoever comes out on top in this match, which person I think it is, Punk. Drew is gonna have to like sell that that little break from TV for quite some time.
Well, like we were talking about too,
exactly.
like
he should it's almost don't come to work for the next fucking week or 3 months or even like just be gone for a while to be like, hey, he's out of commission. Like that's the one thing I agree with what you guys are saying. That like after the match, whoever gets brutally hurt, whoever loses, or even if CM Punk wins, don't show up until next week, because you are in brutally pain. Like just like saying like, hey, like, you know, come Monday at 8 p.m. or have an announcement on the social media saying, hey, because of Hell in a Cell match, Drew will not be showing up for the next couple weeks, and our boy CM Punk, the winner, will not be showing up until next week Raw. So just stay tuned for next week. Just literally say they were healing because they had a brutal match. I'm okay with that. Like show and sell that these matches are brutal, even if they didn't bleed that much or a lot of fake blood didn't happen. But show that the match was brutal enough.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we get a good brutal way. And I mean, Drew on social media had a response for Punk saying, hey, you know what? Again, this is the Punk I've wanted. And I mean, Drew's ready to go to war. He's ready to lay it all out there. And I think it might have been you and me dropped last week had mentioned that, I mean, after this, you kind of should move Drew to SmackDown, or at least one of them to SmackDown, because like even if they're on the same brand, it's gonna be like
a transfer.
Like person. it's gonna be like it's gonna suck to have them on the same brand.
I was gonna say that's a good one, because I remember like I believe I forgot who I think it might have been I don't remember who it came from, but I whoever did say this before, all credit goes to you. But they brought up that, you know, once the conclusion of the match between CM Punk, like once the trilogy's all over, said and done, they do need to be on separate brands, only because it would be kind of weird if they're just functioning like nothing ever happened and they're moving on into new feuds and stuff. It's just this feud has just been taken on a whole nother level. So by them being on the same brand, it'd be a little bit weird. And I feel like a fair trade between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre would be good, because AJ Styles has done everything that he possibly can on SmackDown. There really isn't anything for him to really insert himself into,
I would love
and
to
he
see.
hasn't been on TV for quite some time. So having him on Raw would actually give him something to work with. I mean, there's a lot of people there. There's
AJ
like
and
Braun
Braun
Breaker.
Exactly. AJ and
Yeah.
Gunther. AJ
Yeah.
and Seth Rollins.
AJ and Sheamus,
Yeah,
AJ and Pete Dunne.
AJ and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on there.
So overall,
And he hasn't been on Raw for a while.
So overall, we agreed that Drew McIntyre should be transferred to AJ Styles when the time comes. And two, my last thoughts overall in this segment is great introduction to Raw with our boy CM Punk. Me and Watkins were laughing when they told CM Punk to park here in this corner, leave your car on, even if it's a rental, leave it in this corner. Some PA or some person will park it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Come in, drop off your sweater and your watch on a random table, and then you come back and pick it up later. I love that. I should love that whole entrance.
Yeah.
And I love how he just literally came to the ring. One thing that I love about it was the monotone. People need to understand. I don't give a flying fuck that you say wrestling is fake. No. It's scripted, and when it's scripted well and when it's done well by the actors or actresses, they could tell a beautiful story, and that's what CM Punk did. He gave a monotone tone. He's like, yo, I'm tired of talking all this bullshit. Let's just shoot the hands and square up and beat each other up, and I'm going to beat you up senseless, Drew McIntyre. I'm going to make sure that you know why I'm the best in the world, and I love that. And like him talking about his wife, saying that, hey, my wife don't even want me to fight this hand or so, but you know what? I want to, and that's what I'm gonna do. So overall, the entertainment aspect between Drew and CM Punk continues, and I love how we have spoken about it a few times on our show that the arenas and the stadiums mean something to the story. How 6 months ago or 9 months ago, back in January, we had them back in Portland having this first moment happen, and then 9 months later they're back here and they're still going on. So I love how they bring this back. You know, CM Punk, even the commentators brought this back during the segment. So I really love that and appreciate that, because that is important. The arena means something. That means important to where they are to where they are now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Rough.
from one blood feud to another, we're gonna move on to Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. We finally get a match between these two. A very good match, actually. Like I thought the action was really good in it. Pete Dunne going over, I thought was fine. Especially the way he did go over.
Yeah.
But
Right
I mean, I really liked it. You know, it was just really good. You know.
Yeah, I like the match. I mean, like you said, Pete Dunne was the right one to go over because, again, you got to start building stars. And Sheamus, at this point, he's established. He's bulletproof. So by him taking a loss in here isn't going to really affect him at all. And plus, Pete Dunne needs something to really work with after that whole feud between him and Trick on NXT reached its conclusion last week.
Yeah,
so
he's been losing for the past 5-6 weeks now. With Trick and
Sheamus
and
he
stuff.
needed a big win like this.
Exactly. This win helped him out. Also happy he deserved this win. Congrats to Butch. Oh, I'm sorry, Butch. My apologies. Pete Dunne. My apologies. Don't come to the screen and beat me up now. Yeet. So, like, Pete Dunne winning, great match. Showing there's a few times that the camera work did a great job when Pete Dunne was trying to break the fingers. And then the camera panned away to not really show that he actually did not hit the fingers. I love how they timed it very well. Great training.
Yeah.
So I did notice that a couple of times in the production side. So great timing on that. With Sheamus, what do you guys think about him going forward with this, though? So Pete Dunne is going over, which is good. We want this. But what do you think about Sheamus? What's his role? Like, of course, like you said, Job, I agree. He is bulletproof. But what's next for his story now, even if Pete Dunne took this W?
See, that's the thing, because it's kind of like really hard to tell. I mean, the big story eventually, which I don't think is going to happen until next year, is him versus whoever is the Intercontinental Champion around that point at WrestleMania, because he's been making this he's been making this thing a big deal. He even brought it up tonight about him eventually getting the IC title, because that was a title that he never won. And I feel like if you want to have a crowning moment for that, you got to wait until WrestleMania next year, and we have many months to build to that. But like it could go like in multiple directions, like a couple of directions I can at least think of. They could extend the feud between him and Pete Dunne if they want to, but I really don't know what else they could really do, honestly. And I don't know, like it's honestly like really hard to tell like what he could really do because the Intercontinental title scene right now, even if he wanted to do a little something, it's already full with Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. And then the tag titles, I mean, I don't really see Sheamus really putting any time to do that. He doesn't necessarily really need to. It's not gonna. There's nothing really in there to really throw Sheamus in there to like go after tag titles. I don't really see that. And also main event scene when it comes to Gunther and Sami, that's full. But even with that in mind, you gotta, even though Sheamus doesn't necessarily need to actually no, I'll rephrase this. So even if hypothetically Sheamus wants to go after Gunther after Sami's done with him, he needs to gain a couple wins under his belt just to make him seem worthy and actually build up that momentum.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what's going on with that. And even after Sami, I'm pretty confident after Sami's more than likely CM Punk after he gets that big win over Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell. So I don't really know. It's kind of hard to tell what Sheamus could possibly do. Everything's full. Definitely no cross. I don't need that.
No, please don't.
Definitely
Please
not
no
cross.
more. And I mean, I guess for like where they go from here, I mean, there's the possibility of a street match next, since we're getting weapons heavily involved with this.
Oh yeah, street fight, yeah.
There could always be they could always bring out the British strong style match for these two, where it's like 2 out of 3 falls. I think it's like no top rope moves or something. I mean, I know they're not really the most high flying people, but I mean that would add something to the match, at least for like a blow off kind of match or something.
Damn, I haven't heard that type of stipulation in so long. I don't even remember the last time we had that type of match.
Probably something that dealt with the Heritage Cup, because I think isn't the Heritage Cup in NXT contested in those rules?
Yeah, it's like 5 matches.
Yeah,
but sometimes if it's tied, like hypothetically it was like, oh, this guy has like 2 wins, the other guy has 2 wins, then they just do like a final well, it doesn't have to necessarily be 2, but if they're like tied in any way, shape, or form, then they just go with the final match with that. I think it's usually maybe around like 5 minutes per match, I believe.
Yeah. I remember they have like a timer with it and all that. So, I mean, that's just a possibility of where they could go. I mean, if anything, this should all lead to building up Pete Dunne even more,
Yeah,
so
which I would recommend because he is a force to be reckoned with.
Side comment: I do miss New Cash Republic. I just want to state that. Hopefully,
Tyler
Bate, his healing is going well. Blessings to you, my guy. Hopefully, you are in bed rest, recovering, doing the best you can for your most recent surgery and recovering from the past couple months. I do miss you, and I miss the song New Cash Republic. I wonder if the same song will happen once from now happens. But I do look forward to the song. New Catch Republic.
No. Get rid of all of it.
Even with that in mind, he's a face, so I don't really know how they can really be a thing when he comes back. Because when him and Pete Dunne were together, they were both faces, but now Pete Dunne's a heel and Tyler Bate's a face. So I'm not really sure how they do that, unless they want to revisit that rivalry once he's all set and cleared. I mean, I'm all for it because just like Gunther and Ilya Dragunov, that's a very well-known rivalry that has a lot of history within NXT UK.
I'm all for it.
I mean, same here. But you know what I'm not all for? Natalya versus Zoey Stark. Hey,
Wow.
it happened. Great, cool.
You know what else happened? I will be right back
I went to the bathroom.
because I got that feeling again.
Wow. Just
Like I
great.
kid you not. I kid you not. It's as soon as I saw.
Literally.
But actually no. I will give some thoughts on that though.
I go first.
I was. Well, I mean, like, here's the thing, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record at this point, but I'm gonna keep on saying it because it's the only thing I can really say at this point. I understand that you're trying to build up the Pure Fusion Collective to be this dominant force. I understand that you want Shayna, Zoey, and I mean, see, this is why my brain can't really click with it.
That's so
But it's
Sonya
like,
Deville.
yeah, Sonya Deville. Like I understand you're trying to build them up as this dominant force, and we've seen throughout these past couple weeks, or I should probably say these past couple months now, because they've been together for quite a bit. They haven't really done anything significant to really make themselves stand out because they always come out, they always talk shit, and they never back it up. Because whoever comes out there and beats them, that's it. It's like, oh, I'm going to talk shit to my opponent. You lose. Oh, I'm going to talk shit to my opponent. I lose. This whole entire faction was meant to be a thing to just build them up again, to make them feel special, to put their name out there where it's like, holy shit, you know, these girls are legit. Like, they can actually do a lot of damage. These girls could potentially be like our new women's tag team champions of Zoey and Shayna Baszler, but it hasn't really reached that level. And this is why I said earlier to Vash and Watkins, I was like, there comes a time and a place where if certain stories that you're trying to tell on television aren't working, don't force it just to have stories on weekly programming. Like, you're trying to push this narrative with it. If you see, especially since we know that they look online and look at what people say about it in order to see how they can improve the product or make it more interesting. If you notice that there isn't anything to really keep people invested and you notice that it keeps going down the hill, it's okay to stop storylines and build up to something else. It's okay to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time. Like, for instance, I recorded a video yesterday and I watched it and I didn't like it because it didn't sound like me. It didn't really feel right. So I made a new video. I looked over it and I liked that a lot better. And what I mean by that, it's like, okay, you have a certain plan with this. It doesn't work. Try to do something else with these girls because we know they're talented. We're not taking that away with them. We know Zoe's a great wrestler. We know Shayna's a great wrestler. We know Sonya Deville can do her thing. But don't waste people's time with this nonsense. I mean, if there's people invested in it, cool. Very curious to actually see how you got invested with that, but that's not my issue. But it's like, just try to do something significant to really put them out there, because if I was in charge of this, what I would personally do is I would build them up as like this dominant fraction. I would have them do stuff like the Bloodline does, for example, not making them as like in comparison to them, but have them do these crazy ass beatdowns where they keep girls out of commission, and it's not just I'm gonna hit my finisher and then you're gonna be out for 3 weeks. Like, do something crazy in the back.
Yeah.
Throwing, like, let's say, for example, you know, Shayna Baszler does like this crazy thing where she's like in a scruffle with I'm gonna use like Natalya as an example. She's in a scruffle with Natalya. She does this crazy body slam on her, or she like goes on top of this ladder, just like this crazy crossbody on her, or just doing something that like catches a lot of people's eyes. Do something like that if you want them to feel special. But at this point, I would just drop it because we're past the point of letting it play out and trying to see if there's any potential within this. And I'm honestly surprised I actually took this much time to really say anything about it. But that's just me trying to give you some ideas to do something. But for the most part, it's just a waste of time.
It is, and I mean, honestly, I don't have anything much more to
No.
add to it, other
No.
than I feel bad for 4 out of 6 of these women because I feel like they're the ones suffering the most from this.
Yeah.
Those 4 being, you know, Shayna, Zoey, Lyra, and Zelina. You know,
Yeah.
and that's not a lot of shade towards Natty or Sonya. It's just we know what your pecking order is on the roster with those 2, and y'all are kind of bringing these talents down with you. And no, I'm not. I don't want to have any to do with it. But Vash, did you have any words on this?
The match happened. Zoey Stark and Natalya happened. Truthfully and honestly, not saying, look, all jokes aside, yes, the match happened. Big props to Natalya looking like Trish Stratus, because that's what she did look like with the cowboy hat and the black and white. It was pretty cool. Natalya and Zoey Stark felt like girl was training her on live TV. That's what it was training. Which, look, chat, that's not a bad thing. That also is not a good thing. It's in between the line of where the person that's on the roster needs it. And Zoey has been there for at least a year to 2 already. And you're not going to have Natalya, who's been in the years. She's a good amount of time of not being called rookie. Was it old? Was it when a person's not a rookie but has been there for so long?
Was it a veteran?
Veteran. Thank you. She's a veteran. Yeah. So Natalya being a veteran and trying to teach Zoey Stark, who is not a rookie no more, but trying to teach her on live TV, and Zoey Stark was doing amazing, great job. And the ending could have been perfect, where Zoey Stark should have gotten the counter and should have gotten the roll up and won, and then ran away or fought them or beat them up. That's how it should have ended. Not fucking Natalya rolling up the 5th time and then taking the W, and then her to spin out with Zelina and Lyra. By the way, congrats to Lyra having her engagement with her hubby or her future hubby. My apologies. So congrats to her and her engagement. But that's how I felt about the match, because it could have been towards Zoey. They needed a W. They needed a fucking W and gave it to Natalya, who don't need it. She gives the blessings to every little boy and guys and women there by saying hi to them on the side. Everyone loves her still, no matter what.
Yeah. But you know what? We spent enough time on this. We've spent more time talking about Natalya and Zoey Stark. We spent more time talking about them than Braun Breaker had in the NFL. Like, I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like, and I'm tired of giving them all the spotlight. Let's talk about Braun Breaker and Jey Uso as we lead up to the
highlight of the night for anybody. This is a spoiler.
Was a good promo
this is a spoiler / fact. Big shout out to Paul Heyman. This is my highlight of the fucking night. You can ask Watkins how fucking excited throughout the fucking thing. I was screaming. I was clapping.
Vash loved this.
My girl even came at me like, babe, don't clap so loud. Like, girl, I'm not even doing this on purpose. This is just my pure, honest reaction. What you mean? Man, Jey, I love this, man. The way he came out, the audience was loving him. I love how he came out and spoke the promo. The best promo of his hype version. But then when this man took off his shades, he's like, yo, it's time to literally chew your ass out. Yo, Braun Breaker, you don't know who the Usos are. They used to cut people up for years. Even John Cena cut his ass before Jey Uso did his homework. He said, I'm never going to let nobody cut my ass on a promo no more. I'm going to be ready before they're ready. And this man, Jey, was ready. I thought this man was going to get buried in this promo work by Braun Breaker once Braun said that, hey, I've been on the main roster for 6 months, and I've done more for you than your whole 14 year on the roster. And I love fucking Jay clapback. He said, sir, I've been on the main roster for 14 years, and on the tag division, I've been going for belts and champions. And I've been doing that since you were on your diapers. And I'm like, yes, fucking Jay, this was the best comeback. And for him to say, look, on a serious, when he took off his glasses, he said, look, Bron, I see that dog in you, you oos. I see that dog in you. But I'm going to walk that dog on your ass, and it will be a bittersweet than your fucking NFL career, shorter than it. And I love how the commentator, I forgot his name, my apologies, can somebody remind me of the new one? Not Wade Barry.
Joe?
Who?
Yeah,
Joe
Tessitore.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Joe. I appreciate when Joe said right after, but he was a good NFL player. I'm like, boy, why you lying? Why the fuck are you lying? You know damn well Jay said it. His career was so short. It was shorter than his relationship with Cora Jade.
Damn. Vash went there on him. That's crazy. But yeah, I thought this was a strong segment going into their title match next week, which is apparently main eventing next week. So hey, that's cool.
Oh,
that's
good.
neat. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good. I mean, again, we've had those seeds planted with like their whole family turmoil and all that stuff. Well, I say turmoil, it's really not much of anything. And I do like how Braun does mention, he's just like, ever since you left your family and been on your own, you haven't really succeeded that much. So, we're touching that aspect of the story, which is good because it's kind of true. Jay hasn't done shit since leaving the bloodline. Like, yeah, he's headlined, other matches and like been part of like big matches, like, the King of the Ring tournament, for example, that hey, don't forget, he beat Ilya Dragunov, so we couldn't get that match, but that's besides the point.
I also do want to say this, that even with Jay did the best fucking spear in his whole damn life in the past year, best spear ever, Jay, even fucking Joe said it, wait a minute, Braun Breaker said that he never gets spear. He gives a spear. Nope, not tonight. He gave Jay, did the unexpected. He took down the spear, and I love this man for it. Yeet. This man was so fucking amazing. I do want to say a highlight that I forgot to mention earlier. It was a line that this man, Finn Balor, said, you're out of my league to Rhea. And Rhea said, nah. Finn got a point. Just like, what's the point? That you're out of my league, and we're like, no. And I love Jay's smile. I just want to bring that up because that's something I forgot to mention earlier. So, Jay's the man. Jay got the moves, and who wouldn't? Yeet. Lastly, about this, how did you guys feel about Jay's spear? Were you guys as excited as I am? Because I know I'm just rambling of the excitement of Jay having the best promo worked for me in a while. But also, Braun Breaker, you gotta understand, this is his single career. He's been on the main roster since last year, November. He's about to reach a year as a single competitor since last year, November, I believe, or December? Around there.
I think it's been longer.
Longer?
Yeah, it's been about a year because he faced Roman in the Tribal Combat match
in SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam. And it was literally like that week or the week after where he was just like deuces.
All right, so in September then at least we about to make a year since being in the main roster. And Braun Breaker, you said past whole 14. No, it's been a year compared to 6 months. Right. That is something that you could maybe have some words, my guy, but that's not the best example.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll give him credit for getting an IC title within the time span he's been there. Because normally he would have to wait a little bit longer to get something like that, but Jay's been able to accomplish more in his career because obviously he's a veteran, he's been there for longer, and I really like this promo between the both of them because see, this is something that I wished Gunther and Sami had, where it's like a little bit more where they're both talking a lot of shit to each of their faces and making the segment feel important building into their match and actually giving some layers of unpredictability that could come out of this match, because even the way that they ended the show tonight, where they had Braun spear Jay to get his revenge back at what he did earlier, that plants a little seed in your head where it's like, oh, are they actually going to give it to Jay? Are they going to actually give it to Are they actually going to give it to Braun? And that's the fun thing about it, because I love jumping into matches where you don't really know what's going to happen, because in my mind, I feel like Braun's going to win, but at the same time, just the way that they're telling the story, you don't really know what sort of direction they could go down, because if they really wanted to, they could give it to Jay if they really want to. And I like how this whole segment was built between the both of them, because it's definitely something that Jay needs. It's something that I've been waiting to see from Jay, like actually putting everything to the side and actually cutting a serious promo and actually looking Braun eye to eye and telling him what's up. It really made me feel for this moment between the both of them. And I'm really glad that we were able to see this. And I also want to mention as well, and I also want to give Braun Breaker some credit when it came to selling Jay's spear as well.
That was amazing.
Because obviously we know, like, Jay doesn't have, like, you know, this out of this world spear, but I do like how Braun Breaker made it look effective, because even the simplest things like that come a long way when it shows, like, the selling of the move. Like, there's certain superstars that sell things very well. Austin Theory is a good example. He sells moves very well, and even Carmelo Hayes, definitely another one of them that sells moves very well. And I like how Braun Breaker was able to do that very well to make it look effective, because when do we ever see that with Jay?
I would love to pick it back on what you just said about that, because I love how Braun Breaker got hit in the middle of the ring. Braun Breaker fell to the side on the right, but then somehow went from the side of the right all the way walking around the ring to the barricade on the other side of the corner, and the whole time he was holding the side of his, I think, left rib, and he was outside the walkers during us watching it. I was like, man, he's overselling it so good. Like, it makes it believable that he feels like he just got hit by an opposite spear by somebody else who used to look like the worst spear of his life. But then he makes it look so good, and I love that for Braun Breaker. Like, he makes us believe, the audience, like, yo, this is it. This is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yep. But I'm excited for the match next week. I'm sure everybody else is. Nice, simple, good build towards the IC title match. And another one that's kind of had a nice, simple, easy build with a lot of intensity behind it has been Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. And I'm glad too, because I think it was you, Drop, who had mentioned this previously before we got to tonight. You were hoping that there was a stipulation added to this match, and it kind of makes sense now why there was no stipulation involved, because, hey, we didn't even get a match. We just got, like, a big meaty man meat off here.
And it did what it needed to do, too, because that's what I was expecting out of this, because the way that they've been, like, the whole presentation with Bronson Reed that we've been seeing for the past month, ever since he attacked Seth Rollins to begin this whole charade, I really like it, because it's something that Bronson Reed really needed. And Triple H has always been a big fan of Bronson Reed, so once he was able to be in charge again, he brought back a lot of people that you guys probably noticed that unfortunately didn't really get that much shine in the previous regime. And Braun Breaker was somebody that Triple H brought back because he saw a lot of potential in him, and we could clearly see what he wanted to do with Bronson Reed, because looking at this Bronson Reed compared to the Bronson Reed that we've seen before, when he just came out and just put on matches and won them like that, it's a whole different character. And this is the best version of Bronson Reed that we can see, because this is what you need to do with guys like this. You don't necessarily need to have a match and have somebody win when it comes to a pinfall or submission. Just showcase what they're known for. They're big guys. They can cause a lot of destruction. I mean, there was almost a part of me where I thought we were going to see like some sort of Big Show and Mark Henry spot in the ring, right when the rope broke, which probably would fit best for a main event, to be perfectly honest. But it's like just showcasing these guys just destroying shit. That's what I love, and I just love how it's benefiting both of them, honestly, and it's really nice, really nice.
And like the whole time this is going on, I remember talking to Vash. I'm like, Vash, how are they going to one up putting one of them through a car? Well, how about I just throw a fan at you? Like that shit was bonkers.
That shit,
like
me and Walkers were watching, and we just see a random person, like. So this is a camera, as you see, chat. This is a camera. We literally see on the corner of the camera a random person just being thrown to Braun Strowman, and I'm like, me and Walker were like, was that just a random person that just got yeeted? And then we were asking for over a headshot, like, come on, can you just give us an over headshot? And then like minutes later, by the way, USA, you and me gonna have problems, because if next week Monday you guys don't give us a picture-to-picture, go fuck yourself, respectfully, USA. Because why do you give us SmackDown picture-to-picture, but you're not gonna give us Raw, and not even and not even for the last hour? Like what's the contract difference? Like, is it
one
Raw?
One thing I do want to chime in with that, and I'll let you continue.
Go ahead.
Just tone down the bleep, the like censorship. It comes to holy
it's
shit,
so
because
out of it.
yeah, because I've even noticed a lot of people say, and I do agree with this, it does take away from the segment, because we obviously know what they're saying, but just watching it and not hearing anything, it just takes the effect away. Like we all know that it's saying holy shit, holy shit. Shit isn't that big of a deal, and I've seen the kind of programming that's been on television on that network, same when it was on Fox, and especially oh my god, Netflix is going to do wonders. We don't have to worry about that ever again.
Oh my god, thank god. I
hope not. I hope not.
I was still walking like,
it wouldn't make sense, really. I mean, it's under them. I don't expect it.
Like, imagine Netflix just hearing holy shit and never being bothered, like actually hearing the audience just say holy shit like 25 times and not being blooper once. So like, thank god. So it's like this whole segment was amazing. Me and Walkers was like, wait, why is he walking away? And we both said, like, he has to run back to him, right? Instead of him running back to
he's gonna run back, right?
Braun Strowman. No, he said, nah, I'm gonna go to you. Yeet on him, and he literally just got flown to the crate. I love how they just kept going. When they got to backstage, I'm like, why is he throwing security guards next to the cameraman? I'm like, can the camera get hit, man? Please get hit. And then Walker's like, please get hit, please get hit. And then boom, he throws down a fucking roller, not roller cart. What's the cart? A golf cart. A golf cart. He literally throws down a fucking golf cart down. He throws down the camera. By the way, chat, the camera most likely didn't actually get thrown. It was just green screen that just got yanked. But I love how they made it work. And then after that, throw back to Braun Strowman. We had him just having his whole saliva out there, so looking like a monster. And we didn't even bring it up. I did bring it up in my Stampede, but I love how Braun Strowman literally told the Miz when the Miz asked him, yo, quick question.
Oh, yeah.
You said I couldn't defeat Bronson. What do you mean by that? I love how Braun Strowman was very honest. Like, look. You don't gotta look too much into that. Understand, it's not that you cannot defeat him. You gotta defeat a monster with a monster. I'm the monster. You're not a monster. And I love how the Miz like, huh? Not a monster. Okay, and just walk away. I'm like, yeah, we're about to see a heel turn, guys.
It was literally. It was like, oh, I would hope so. I mean, it was the seeds already planted for that anyway, even before the attack. Yeah. But it's like, this was literally like a Godzilla and King Kong fight, pretty much.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Like, I literally was waiting.
This took me
for that moment when they were on the last crate. I was asking Walker, like, what are they gonna top from going to the car? And I'm like, is that a fake wall? And there was a set, it was a fake wall. They literally both,
I remember that, yep.
both go there. And then they stood
It's
there,
like, oh.
and the commercial break happens, and the Wanko's like, I hope they're still there by the time we come back from commercial break. And guess what? They were still there, trying to like trying to get up. And I'm like, and Chris like, yeah, can you just please let me know what happens? I'm like, shouldn't you be there? Like, aren't you always screaming at CM Punk and other people to not fight, but you're not there? Out of all the times when you'd be screaming like, stop, stop it, tsunamis, stop it. Like, and fucking Wade Barrett literally said, we need 10 ambulances for this. We need 10 ambulances for all the security guards and all the people that got thrown. I'm like,
you know what I was thinking? Imagine, like, since you're in production, imagine being in production for segments like that.
Oh, I would love it. No lie, I would. It would take me a couple weeks to understand that this is work and not a fan, because I would be distracted. When they'd be like, yo, Vash, come over here. I'm like, yo, shut up. I've been watching this fight happen.
I'm just gonna say this whole segment, it really took me back to like the old like 2016, 2017 era where it was Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns, and every week Braun Strowman would just, he would clobber out there, be like, I'm not finished with you yet, and just like beat the ever-loving doo-doo out of Roman Reigns to the point where like he was like flipping over 18-wheelers and all that. Like, we got that tonight with the golf cart, and I'm like, oh, we're getting Kaiju Braun again. This is great. I love every aspect of this.
Who do you think won this round, or do you think it was a tie? Because they kept throwing each other.
There was a tie.
I feel like it was a tie as well, because and I hope this will continue on, because this is a good match. You know, between the two, Monster versus Monster, Godzilla versus King Kong, I feel like it was a great comparison for them. Who the fuck the fan was being yeeted out there? I love they shows a camera angle very different, because that was perfect. Like, he literally grabbed a fan and just went yeet.
And the fact the fan was wearing a yeet shirt too.
Exactly.
On top of that.
It was made on purpose. It was. I bet you the wardrobe people like, what can we give this fan to be paid for $200 for this night? Wear a blue shirt that says yeet. Yes, let's go. Here's the comedy for it. And I just love it. The ref ran to him like, okay, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, I'm gonna go back to do my work.
What I would love to hear is if that guy was, because usually when they do segments like this, it is like a plant or like a local talent or whatever. I really hope that they didn't tell him what was gonna happen. That they were just like, hey, you're a local talent, right? You want to go to Monday Night Raw? Yeah, sure. It's just like, oh, great. Here's your ticket. Here's a free T-shirt for you to wear. Like, make sure, you watch the whole show, and make sure, you're there at this moment, at this time. Because, don't you love Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed? Yeah, they're my favorite guys out there. I'm just like, all right, cool. Yeah, we'll just make sure you wear that shirt, okay?
Bro,
and that's how we got it.
If I got told, hey, you're gonna get yeeted out by Bronson Reed to Braun Strowman, I'll be like, look, I don't even care about payment. Can I just get a massage for the next 6 hours after that to heal my body? That's all I care for. I'm like, that's my excuse. Like, just pay me for 6 hours. That's literally more expensive to get a massage than actually get paid. I'm like, that's literally my payment. I'm okay with that. That's one. Two, is it weird to say this line, even though a lot of people don't like him? Feed me more of this. Feed me more of this. Two monsters.
No, I get that. Definitely feed us more, please. So I guess the last question I have for it is, how do you guys think this rivalry will end? Do you think it's gonna be like just a regular
it has to
fight
be,
or Extreme Rules, or do you think my idea is
last man standing?
Falls Count Anywhere?
Last Man Standing. I was thinking, Last Man Standing. It could be Falls Count Anywhere as well, just because of like the nature of like the tsunami on top of the car and like through the tables and all that. But I dare say it might be around Last Man Standing territory as well. So I could see both options being happening. Oh man. Well, you know what? From many different options, from not being finished with somebody. Hey, we have a rematch actually from way back in the day, from what it feels like. Bianca Belair taking on Io Sky. Now this was set up earlier in the night because apparently Bianca was set to face Kyrie tonight, but
Yeah.
since Kyrie's still selling the injury of her eye and all that, unless she actually is injured from that. Io has to take her place, and we get definitely match of the night. I'm gonna point out.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
they cooked with this one. Like
Yes.
I
I don't have
agree.
a lot of notes with the action with it, just because like I was just watching it the whole time because like these two were even throughout the whole
Oh yeah,
time.
her
Like
wrestling
they were
soulmate.
each.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
beautiful going back and forth, kind of counter. They know each other so well. Even Joe that was doing the play-by-play was speechless in himself as well. Like he even said it, I think once or twice. He said, "I'm just speechless of how they know each other so well." I love how Io expression on her face. She knows how to
Oh, yeah.
sell the reaction
Oh,
and
yeah.
the thoughts on her. Even when Walker's brought up earlier just now about the match of how it got placed with Io versus Bianca, when she came like, Bianca, you coward, why can't you know, come on, like fight me? Bianca like, okay, let's go 1-on-1.
I don't know if not you.
I love you like, I accept. I'll see you tonight.
Mhm.
Just give like a girl get like an eyebrow push like deuces
Yeah.
bye. I'm like I should love Io's just wacky expression, like her wacky energy. It just feeds me into like the type of energy I need. I love, and then her smile whenever she gets a little toe-to-toe action of same moves or counter with Bianca. Like it's so beautiful how they knew each other so well. It was like when two wrestlers know how to fight against each other is like they're dancing within one another, and I love that. It seems so beautiful and authentic.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
And I mean, I'm assuming. Wait, Io. How is Io buried? Hold on, Super. How is Io buried? She won the match.
Super dude.
Like
Hell no. Io took the
how?
literally
What?
took the road up.
Nah.
They're bugging anybody that
Okay.
anybody that's saying is bugging you are wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore those comments because she wasn't buried. She had an awesome match that Io even won against like Bianca. Like there, how smooth she was for reversing that KOD to just an inside cradle like that was.
Oh
It
yeah.
was it was like spreading melted butter on a hot piece of toast. It was like that.
That
It was just
that
that
drop
good.
into the cradle was so smooth. Like I didn't expect it. Both me and Walkers were so sad if she actually got KOD. We were like no, and then she just did that smooth drop into the cradle. I was like, yes, you lovely, beautiful
She
wrestler.
deserves it.
You did such an amazing
Yeah.
transition into that, and just to see the match between them is something I hope Jade Cargill could do. Like I would love for Jade Cargill or maybe Kyra could do something like that, just to have that type of parallel
Do
would be
what?
amazing. No, what Bianca and Io did, I would love to see something like a parallel between Kairi Sane and Jade Cargill. It would be a nice parallel as a champion where Jade will actually take the W over Carrie. I feel like it would be a nice type of rivalry if that does happen. And then Carrie, I mean, then Jade could go versus Io.
That'd be a big.
Okay. I mean,
That. I mean, that's definitely a goal. We'll have to work up
Yeah.
to that because I know. Yeah.
I'm going far without the details of steps yet, but
Even
that's
with
what I
Bianca.
would like to see.
Yeah, even her eventual feud with Bianca, that's gonna be a big test. That's actually the test. And then if she passes the test with that, then you can go to a Kyrie, then you can go to a Io and an Asuka, and a Becky whenever she comes back.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
I really like this match. As you guys said, it was the highlight of the night, and these girls
Oh,
have
yeah.
always put on good matches whenever they're in the ring together. Good example of that was all of the energy that was in that Backlash match last year. They really
yeah, because she did cash in the Money in the Bank. They did bring that back. That she did cash in the Money in the Bank. But remember how Bianca had to play off that she was injured. So that Gerda had an injured knee, I believe, at the time. She faked the injury or something like that. So
I'm talking about early in the year because they had a backlash last year. They had a one-on-one match when Bianca had the Raw Women's title before they transitioned later that year.
Oh, okay.
That was the last time, at least from what I can remember, they had a one-on-one match with one another. And a lot of people said ever since that point they wanted to see it again. They have great chemistry. They know each other very well, and we saw the exact same thing play out tonight. And this is definitely leading into Bianca and Jade's next tag team title match with
the Sky Wars. Oh, Sky Pirates. That's Sky Wars. I felt like that's probably One Piece reference in my head right there.
Yeah, tomato.
But Sky Pirates, fuck yeah. Most likely they're gonna lose, but I would definitely love them to win. Damn, we haven't seen the witches, the Union. They've been buried. The Super Dude. They haven't.
You want to talk about burial? Like, where have they been since dropping the titles? Like,
they're gone.
Yeah, I guess that was just for a cheap pop in Scotland, so that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, Triple H said, okay, you guys did your job. Time to put you guys in the back burner.
But hey, you know what? At least they defended their titles more than the Judgment Day ever did. So there's at least that.
That is very true. Other than that, this match was fucking fantastic. It's my favorite match of the night for sure. And it was really dope to see the 450. Even though our girl Bianca did miss it, the 450 was really nice to see from her. It reminded me of Ricochet, but I don't think he does the 450. He does the 620, I believe, or which was it he does?
Is it 620? I'm blanking on the name right now.
Do you remember the move
apologies.
Do you remember the move that Ricochet does from the top rope?
His finisher?
Yes, the top rope. He does like the 450 or the 620 something. Like that.
Isn't it like a shooting star press or?
Now it is, I think, because I think he transitioned it to the shooting star press, but like it was something else before that. I want to say 650 because what it was like this flip that ended up in like a senton kind of thing.
Oh yeah. It says the 630 splash.
630. Okay.
That's the one. Oh, yeah. I just search it. It is the 630 splash or the 630 senton it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the eventual tag team match we're gonna get between these two teams. I mean, again, I'm in the same boat as Vash. Like, okay, I don't really see Jade and Bianca losing the titles, but hey, we're at least getting some banger matches from it, you know. Yep. But any other thoughts on like this really good match that we had tonight?
The Girl Slay match outfit promo. Io Sky was the MVP out of this match in promo, like the overall segment of the tag team. It was great to see them. Other than that, that's all I got.
That's all I got too.
All right, perfect. Well, hey, guess what? That's all Raw had for us this week anyways, too. So, I mean, overall thoughts, I would say, I mean, there was good parts of Raw, there was bad parts of Raw. It kind of evened out to a decent show. I think, highlight for me, definitely, the match with Bianca and Io. I thought, again, they have really great chemistry together, and it's something that I don't want to have go under the radar because women's wrestling is really good. It can be really good with the right talent and the right exposure for it.
It just sucks that we had already two matches out of the night for women wrestling.
I mean, it's they still had some good decent time on the show, especially with even with the Judgment Day stuff, we still at least had Rhea and Liv there, even though they didn't really do much to hype up their match. But again, that's more of like a collective Judgment Day thing, I guess, than one-on-one stuff. But I mean, yeah, I mean, those are my overall thoughts on Raw. Again, it was a decent show, you know. But Vash, what did you think of Raw overall?
Four things. One, my highlight of the night was the Braun Breaker promo with Jey Uso. This was my highlight favorite part of the night, as y'all know. In my background,
Mhm.
Yeet, or like a girl Rhea, Yeet. Oh my god, I love it when she does it so cute and adorable. How she does it like so adorable, like shy little
Or when
girl.
she does this,
She like Yeet,
that,
Yeet.
that was nice too.
Yeah, it's just my god, it's the best. My second highlight of the night is the Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed. Even though that's not really a versus, it was more like a street fight. That was not technically a street fight. It was an unsanctioned that was not planned. Even though it was go for it. And number three, it was the Bianca versus Io Sky. It was a great match. They cooked. It was like a 20-minute match almost. That should have ended the show. If this was a 2-hour Raw, that would have ended the show perfectly. I would have not
Oh
minded.
yeah.
It was
Mhm.
been beautiful. Because if you take out the main event and if you take out the commercials, that's literally a 2-hour show perfectly. And the fourth thing that we didn't bring up, since it didn't really have a pure highlight to have a discussion, it was American made video package with the Wyatt Six. They both have moved on from each other. The Wyatt Six is showing a QR code, and then they're finding their next opponents of who to attack and make. The American made video package was kind of cool, but I'm not a fully type of patriot with America. So
Mhm.
American made to be pure patriot is something that I'm not used to seeing. And to be like, I like it when you guys were not so up in front with America, but I get it. America's great. Not gonna get into any of the jokes from there, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's all.
All right, coolio,
Yeah.
coolio, coolio. What about you, Drop? What were your overall thoughts on Raw?
I thought it was a solid show. I mainly liked everything that had to do with
Mhm.
building up to the CM Punk. I think me personally, like when it comes to my highlight, was probably what we saw with CM Punk earlier, because I've always been a big fan of like blood feuds when things feel very serious. When you know it's even though you know it's a scripted show, it sometimes tricks your mind thinking that this is legitimate, like this is actually going on, and that's like one of the
Yeah.
best things I really like about the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud is the fact that it feels so real and they're telling the story so good, and the way that we saw Punk approach the ring and deliver this promo really built to the match and made it feel like it's gonna be one of the most watched matches coming out of the beginning of October or towards the end of the year, whenever WWE decides to end off the year of a bang, just like how they did last year of CM Punk's return. So that
Yeah.
was my highlight of the night. Um, Other than that, though, I mean, I've already spoken on what I said about the Judgment Day, but that's all for me, really. I mean, of course,
Mhm.
Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. Not to like reiterate what I said before, but highlight for me definitely was CM Punk and the Drew McIntyre build up for their match.
All right. Well, good, good. Coolio, coolio. Excellent. Foolios. So, yeah, that was basically Raw again tonight. So, you know, sound off in the chat as we give our closing statements here about how you thought Raw was. You know, did you hate it? Did you love it? You know, let us know down in the live chat. But if you're watching the VOD of this afterwards, again, make sure to let us know in the comments because we'll be keeping an eye on the comments, see how you guys are doing and all that. But you know, as I try to wake myself back up for this outro, Vash, there are many, many, many things in our description down below, but what exactly are some of those things that are in the description
So
below? I
look,
need you to tell these people what it is.
look, chat. I'm gonna tell you how it goes. Yeet. AniMa with Studio. Yeet. Legendary Vash. Yeet. Drop this box. Yeet. Walkers MW. Yeet. Weebs of the Ring. Hashtag everywhere else on all social media platforms. Yeet. And if you're new to the channel and were entertained by us, yeet. Subscribe. If you want to be more and help the algorithm, be entertained by us. Share the video, send to a friend, send it to your grandmother, hit her with a chair. No, you should not. Hit your brother with a chair, and then get him with a spear, and then do the RKO. Yeet. And the last thing is, if you're want to tell us your thoughts and tell us to improve anything, tell us your opinion about the show, then fucking tell us your comments down below. Yeet. Now let's pass it to the host. Yeet.
Yep. So we're going to take some time right now as we close it up, as we drop the curtain on all of this. We're going to thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcaster. If you enjoyed what we had to say, why not do exactly what Vash just told you guys to do? It's very simple, very easy to do. We are known as AniMa We Studio on all social media platforms. Just remember, that's we with a 3. Also, use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us about anything regarding wrestling before, during, or after our shows. Feedback is always appreciated, as we are nothing without you tuning in. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa We Studio, thanks to our production team of Vash, Walkins, Drop This Box, Rome, and Jokester, as well as special thanks to JB and Abe. Thank you for joining us, and remember, as always, no string guarantees were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everybody, and never forget, cheese does not belong on pancakes.
But I see that dog in you, Oos. Ruff, ruff, ruff.